Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Paul here from Genesis Technologies. Today I am going to talk about a very important technology, that is ozone simulation chamber or ozone enrichment technology in open atmosphere, or you call it free air ozone enrichment technologies. You might be wondering that what is the role of ozone for enrichment in open atmosphere and what are the studies one can carry out. To understand that, you need to understand first what is ozone and what are the importance or harmful activities ozone is causing in nature. So, ozone is treated as one of the pollutants which is very corrosive in nature, and it reacts with the organic bodies, even also the inorganic bodies. It has got also a very corrosive kind of nature, and it can damage the cell line, causes various diseases including cancer, lot of skin related disease, and also it can affect both plants, animals and various organisms in the atmosphere, in the earth surface. So, it is very important to understand the impact of ozone. Ozone is nothing but a kind of inorganic molecule originated from oxygen in presence of ultraviolet rays and high electrical discharge. It is formed in nature or in the earth's atmosphere around 9 kilometer to 30 kilometer above ground. The atmosphere is called stratosphere. The ozone is present. The role of ozone is to protect ultraviolet rays which are coming from the sun. It absorbs, it does not allow it to penetrate at earth's surface. Again, we know ultraviolet rays, ultraviolet A or ultraviolet B is a very a dangerous ray. It also causes various impact on living bodies. So, now the question is, now in 100 years time it has been observed that because of industrialization and various impact of gas like nitrous oxide, chlorofluorocarbon, volatile organic carbons, due to industrialization is coming out from different industries. It is indirectly impacting our ozone layer in stratospheric zone, and because of that there is a ozone layer, you call it ozone hole, that is creating, and there is a ozone depletion that is taking place, and directly or indirectly the ozone level is increasing in normal atmosphere. So, there must be a tolerance limit of ozone which is normally present Normally ozone is present in normal atmosphere from 10 ppb to 100 ppb in different areas, and it also varies in different season, temperature, humidity. There are various factors also directly impacting the concentration of ozone in atmosphere. Now hypothetically or fundamentally, if you see, because of ozone depletion, if ozone is coming into the atmosphere and it is impacting or interacting with various living organism on earth surface, that includes human being, plants, different microorganisms, including animals. So there are many disease symptoms that is been seen because of high concentration of ozone in atmosphere. So it is very important to study the impact of ozone on different plants and also growth response studies. It is now scientists are trying to understand, because it is treated as a kind of a pollutant, and this is one of the parameter taken by different government agencies like pollution control boards or international bodies, that along with the pollutants like sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, your level of carbon dioxide, ozone also has to be monitored. If it is going beyond the threshold limit, so there are some precaution has to be taken how to reduce the ozone concentration on earth's surface. Now I am not getting into the complexity of the properties of ozone, how it is formed, how it is decomposed, but my topic is restricted to how to develop a system where you can do the enrichment of ozone in a simulated environment. That is the objective. As I have told you, if you want to have ozone enrichment facilities, first you need to have the generation of ozone and also monitoring and control of the area where you are discharging ozone. That means both you need ozone generator as well as ozone monitoring and control facilities. Now the question is, how do we generate ozone? As I have told you, ozone is forming through oxygen. There is a corona discharge mechanism where in high voltage you place electrodes and try to purge oxygen, and because of the high voltage, with this energy, your oxygen molecule is converted to free oxygen molecule, and again O2 is again bind with one free molecule of oxygen. It is forming the ozone. In laboratory condition or when you are developing a machine, it is very important to have high voltage electrode placed, and you need to purge oxygen. For that purpose you need to have the oxygen generator, and there will be a chamber where the sparking will take place in presence of oxygen, and you get ozone in an outlet. The process is very slow, but it requires a lot of energy for generating ozone, and ozone generation is a kind of a continuous process. You can have 1 gram, 2 gram, 3 gram, 4 gram, 50 grams or 100 grams per hour ozone generator or more capacity one can have for research purpose. So, this is all about the ozone generator. The second part is ozone monitoring system. So, ozone monitoring system, ozone can be monitored. The concentration of ozone, as I have told you, it is in parts per billion. In normal atmosphere, ozone is present in between 10 ppb to 40 ppb. If you have enriched condition, you can go up to 100, 150 ppb. So that you need to select one ozone monitoring system which are capable to analyze and monitor ozone level in between 10 ppb to 200 or 300 ppb. The working range can be decided based on the concentration that we want to monitor and control. Ozone can be monitored or estimated. What is the level of ozone? There are few methodology that is given. One can go use the UV absorption technology or chemical method also one can try, and chemical based sensors also available. So, from that also one can estimate the concentration of ozone, and each sensors or analyzer having the output option with or without display option. It is straight away it can give you either ppb, parts per billion display, or percentage. One can convert it whichever way it is required. It is based on purely the designing of the system. There are a lot of electrochemical sensors also that is used, as I have told you. Those sensors are basically the pre-calibrated sensor, it comes with a certification from various agency, various standards that is been followed in order to make a particular range, and it works for, if it is a chemical based, electrochemical based, the sensors are, it has got certain life. Even the UV based also, it has got the working range. Now, fundamentally, again coming back, when you want to develop the ozone enrichment system, as I have told you, you should have ozone generator and ozone monitoring and control facilities. I talked about the ozone generator. Now, I also talked about the ozone monitoring system. Now, how to design a kind of experimental plot where you want to enrich ozone. So, ozone enrichment facilities. Now, in my first presentation, I talked about you can have ozone enrichment facilities in a closed chamber or in also open atmosphere, like free air ozone enrichment, where in open atmosphere also you can enrich ozone. Like inside a polycarbonate chamber where top portion is open, it is called OTC, as I have explained many times what is OTC. There you can directly expose ozone. You can build a ozone generator. If you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chambers for ozone enrichment, one single 100 grams per hour ozone generator can be kept in a control room or at site, or independent ozone generator also can be mounted with a controlling mechanism with a set point option, and also ozone sensor also can be mounted there. Now, I am giving little bit explanation, like when you are operating in open top chamber, maintaining various level of ozone. Let's say in one ozone chamber you want to work on 50 ppb, another is 60-70 ppb, one OTC, another is for 90, another for 120 ppb. that is the level one can set it. So essentially what you can do it, you can have 10 grams per hour ozone generator directly mounted at the wall of the OTC chamber. Like that 4 ozone generator can be mounted and 4 ozone monitoring system also can be mounted with a working range from 10 ppb to 1000 ppb or 500 ppb, whichever working range you need it, that can be mounted. And both ozone generators on off action, like no power supply option, because you need to have the feedback control mechanism for controlling ozone generator, because ozone is a continuous process, so that essentially when your controlling action is taking place, let's say in first chamber you want to have ozone generation by 40 ppb, so you have ozone monitoring system, your feedback system such a way that the machine should be on as long as it is achieving your ozone level up to 40 ppb, then the ozone system or machine will be stopped. That is one way of doing it. So basically whatever data you have, if you have 4 or 5 chambers, you can take out all those data to the your PLC or SCADA platform. There you can program what are the levels you need it in each chamber, and you can do the controlling mechanism accordingly. So your on off control, data logging, everything can be synchronized in one screen and system can be operated. This is a kind of a semi-closed chamber, one can do it. Similar way in open atmosphere, like when I say in free air CO2 enrichment in open atmosphere, you need to have kind of a ducting facilities, either it is hexagonal or circular structure, where you can have 4 or 5 rings. There you need to define what are the levels of CO2, ozone to be monitored and controlled. Accordingly, you can have a single ozone generator with higher capacity. With a blower option, one can channelize the ozone air inside the ring, and there will be some kind of opening and closing of the air from the surface of the ring, and set point and other things can be set. From the command that we are giving to the analyzer, accordingly exactly the quantity of ozone air mixture can be discharged inside the ring. That way you can do it, or you can have independent ozone generator for each chamber can be mounted at site itself with a housing facilities, with a monitoring facilities, and data logging control action can be taken from the control room. I am not getting into the how we are controlling it. The basic thing, the logic, what I want to tell you, it's all basically taken into feedbacks, the level, your set point, and the monitoring and control mechanism. There are 2 ways of doing it. The entire control operation can be done with a precise data logging facilities. Those can be wired or wireless communication, whichever communication one can need it. They are free to do it, there is no issue, and there should be a good data logging option so that you know on real time what is the level of ozone that can be monitored. It can come in Excel sheet data throughout the day, 24 hours or 8 hours operation each day. So that can generate one Excel sheet. So there are few precautions that one can take while working on ozone enrichment facilities. The precautions means you need to have the proper covering of your face and also nose, so that it is you cannot, while taking breathing it should not happen that when you are exposed to high ozone level, the ozone should not comes to your body, so that kind of precaution one can take, so that those precautions are very important. And one more thing, the ozone gas, when it is discharged in any place, because the molecular weight of ozone is higher than air, it has a tendency it settle down, and it is very difficult for, once it is settled down, if you are exposing high concentration level of ozone, let's say you have given high concentration of 500 ppm and suddenly you feel that you need to have, or you want to lower the ozone level, it takes very long time to lower that particular ozone, because it's settled down, and there is no way, if there is not good amount of wind direction, or it's a static kind of environment, so the ozone remains there until it decomposes or it blows off from that particular area. So sometimes it is very important that the precision of releasing ozone is very important. It should not happen that at any given point in time you are exposing in a higher concentration and suddenly it's coming. You cannot expect like carbon dioxide and other gases, like if it is achieved 500 ppm and suddenly after 5 or 10 minutes it brings back to 380 ppm normal ambient condition, because it's a highly volatile and it evaporates very fast. So that way ozone is something different. So coming back, ozone enrichment system work is going in India in various research institutes. They are working on it. We have worked many ozone enrichment system facilities in India. The first ozone enrichment system we have developed at Bharatiya University. As they are working on eucalyptus in open top chamber, we have incorporated ozone enrichment system over there. After that, we have done ozone enrichment system facilities for NBRI, National Botanical Research Institute. I have talked about this institute many times. This is a CSI research institute. They are working for last 12 years. We have developed many systems for them, starting from the phase system, FET system, that is free air CO2 enrichment, free air temperature enrichment, and free air ozone enrichment. There are few systems, it's a combined system, both phase and FET, that is CO2 and temperature. There are systems that is for phase, FET and ozone, and there are also systems also phase and ozone, like CO2 ozone interaction studies purpose. Basically, I am not again getting into the complexity of this thing, because you need to understand in environment there are various reaction that is happening if you want to have the combined effect, both ozone CO2 studies, ozone temperature, ozone CO2 temperature studies, those kind of research facilities what we have developed for NBRI. There are many rings that we have developed for the CSR institute, and we are supporting them for last 12 years. Beyond that, we have done also a big project for IARI, that is Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi, for their environmental science division. Now they have made it Center for Environmental Studies. Department, almost 70-80% project was developed by us. For 12 years we have developed their open top chamber system, we have developed their FATI, that is FET system, that is for agricultural physics or nuclear physics department at IRI. we have developed the complete ozone CO2 enrichment system. And first system we have developed long back, the phase system. So this is the institute, probably many of us probably knowing the IRI, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, is a very famous agricultural research institute. And I've told many times that various publications, various research that has been conducted at this institute. I recall those days that Dr. P.K. Agarwal, who is the head of the department that time, we initiated the first phase system at IRI. We have developed this system successfully. It is almost 12 years down the line gone. After that, there are many facilities that we have created for IRI. To be very honest, those kind of system is highly expensive. It requires a lot of attention, and it's a critical technology. It's not ordinary technology that anybody can understand. First of all, I told many times, for simulation model, it is very important to understand the theoretical part first, then probably one can think of designing and developing the system. If we are not fundamentally clear what system we are developing, what application will be there, it is very, very difficult. Sometimes one can go totally wrong based on the application because of system designing. There are many things. In climate change research, it is very, very important to understand again the fundamental thing first. And probably while you are developing the system, you might find this is not working, this design is not working. There can be some little changes here and there to do the fine tuning. But always there is a scope for improvement, because there is not even a static or this is what you need to do it and this is the prototype and you replicate it. This is not kind of job. So you have a lot of risk for doing such kind of project. But obviously science is challenging, and that's why we take the challenge and we do it. And until or unless you take the challenge, so you cannot find the real way or for improvement. I always believe you take the first step, take the first leading role, or do little thing, and probably further improvement scope can be found. So coming back, those technologies, again, if anybody wants to have or to develop such kind of research facilities at their premises, the cost analysis, the kind of crops they want to do it, studies, what kind of studies they want to do it, probably one can write a project proposal based on the objective, and our role is to give the system. So what would be the configuration of system? We have been talking to various research institute, various proposal we have submitted, where we discuss about that this number of ring probably you might be needing it to develop a system, and this is the estimated cost. Because when you are putting your financial proposal or proposing to any government agency for funding, you must have estimated budget for developing such kind of system. So ozone enrichment facilities can be studies for plants, for animals, studies of health hazards, and what is the maximum concentration that is dangerous. So there are many research papers that is published on ozone, exposing ozone into various living entities. Similar way in plant also there are various things, like, again, I'm not getting into the complexity, starting from the chlorosis. There are a lot of leaf disease that is coming because of ozone is interacting with the leaf surface, stomata, plant biomass. So there are many issues that can be studied. Even a lot of tumor formation is taking place. So it's basically it's a deformation when your again ozone is interacting, your proper cell division is not happening, and for that purpose there might be some genetic modification, few other things that is coming. So keeping all those things in mind, what scientists are trying to do it, maybe how to develop a different crop varieties based on the elevated ozone level. In high ozone level, some crops can be grown which can be sustainable, so adaptive in this kind of atmosphere. That is the main role of developing such kind of simulation model. Beyond that, one can do a lot of studies because of ozone, what are the microbial dynamics that is changing in soil atmosphere. So there is no end to it for taking out each objective or parameters to carry out such kind of research. So as in whole, my first four presentation, I'm just going to summarize the whole thing that I talked about. Phase technology, free air CO2 enrichment, free air temperature enrichment, free air ozone enrichment technology. So combined rings, very other things. This is all simulation model. I am going to cover my next technology in my next presentation, that is the temperature gradient tunnel or CO2 gradient tunnel. So what is the role of CO2 gradient tunnel or temperature gradient tunnel on simulation modeling, how the crop research can be done taking this simulation model. This is very important technology. We have developed it, and I'll talk about the principle and how we do it, the controlling monitoring of CO2 temperature gradient tunnel or only gradient tunnel, that I am going to explain it in my next presentation. So I hope my presentation, it may not be very scientific, because I told many times that it's not a prepared or scripted document that I am speaking. I am speaking from my heart. I have given close to 20 years in this instrumentation field. I understand little bit biology, I understand simulation modeling, and this is our own technology and it's a proven technology. I am explaining those technology because I don't get into more complexity also the technology, how we are developing it, because there are certain things which are not in public domain, or this is the secret or things of the company that cannot be told, and this is a part of company's policies. Whatever things I'm talking about, the application part only and something related to the system designing part. And we want to rest assured that if you want to develop a system, you might not be knowing all those complexity, instrumentation, control, automation, data logging, system development, system designing, what are the variable factors, what is the role of wind speed, wind direction, sensors, analyzers, everything. It is our job to take care of all those things. Your job is to carry out your research, your objective that you want to focus on. So again, I'll see you in my next presentation on temperature gradient tunnel or gradient tunnel, CO2 gradient tunnel, how it can be developed. It has got also enormous importance in climate change research and studies. Once again, thank you very much for hearing this out, and I hope I have conveyed what I want to convey in my presentation. Thank you very much once again. Excuse me if there is any mistake. please do comment me. So I've been speaking for almost 35 minutes now. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Take care.